Hi, and welcome to Pixorama, the show where things can go at any time. Even if they do that though, it has absolutely no bearing on the show whatsoever. So today I thought we would pixel something more character-based. We've done a lot of scenery so far on Pixorama, but so far we haven't done much character-based stuff. So I thought we would tackle a little pixel character. In fact, I thought we would tackle the mascot for the Pixorama channel, Pix, as he is known in formal circles.
With the and the fucking with the things and the somebody and the whoa.
So let's go ahead and crack open a new document in Pixel. And for this one, I'm going to choose a size of 40 by 40. That should be enough for what we're doing today. And let's go ahead and create a background layer. And for now, let's just fill it in with a nice purpley color. I'm going to go somewhere around here. Yeah, it's very nice. Create another layer, and we're going to call this one face, or face, whichever you prefer. And this is going to be the layer we're going to do our character on. So I'm just going to go up here and crack open my color palette. And choose a color that I think will be good for the character's skin tone. And let's just start drawing. So we're not going to get this exact on the first time, don't even try. This is more about roughing out the shape, which you can then refine later on. That's always the way with these things. It's 10% creation, 99% tweaking. Okay, let's give this guy some rough facial features. For the eyes and the mouth, I'm not going to go completely black. I'm going to go somewhere down here, just a warm kind of gray. And then I can start with the eyes. And he's got a nice big grin. Cool. Let's give him some teeth as well. Dorky little teeth. And I'm going to give him a tongue. Somewhere down here for the tongue color. Not bright red. And then for his eyes, I'm going to color them basically the same shade as the background here. Now let's give him a bit of a bandana. And I think, yeah, somewhere around here will do. Just going to start crafting the bandana. It's going to follow his head up. If you do it off the side here, it's going to start looking like a turban. It's going to look like it sort of comes around his head like that, which we don't want. We don't really want Professor Quirrell. I deeply apologize for that. Anyway, we want a little rocker guy here, so let's just bring it up following his head there. It's too tall. There we go. Cool. Fill in that guy. And for the little knot at the side of the bandana, I'm actually going to go down the side of his head here and do that coming off the edge just like that. If you drop it down, it'll look like it's more behind him. Cool bananas! Let's grab a darker shade now and do some shadows on that bandana. I'm just going to follow roughly along the bottom here. Wherever you feel the light would cast a shadow here. We're also going to put some folds in. A couple of folds in the bandana there. Oops. Tends to look a bit fuzzy if you get too close to other pixels of the same color. Let's put a shadow down here as well. Cool. All right. I'm going to shift him down a bit because I know what's coming next. It's going to be some hair. So for the hair, I gave this guy kind of a bright purpley color hairdo. Somewhere around here, I think. And let's just go and draw them out. I wanted to have like big rocker, kind of like a mohawk. So let's just go and bring that out. I'm going to go straight up here. Don't have to be too perfect with this, just basically get the shape that you want. Cool. And for the shadows, I'm going to do something a bit different this time. Usually when I do shadows, I would grab that color, I would take it down a bit in brightness, and then I would go about filling in the bits that need shadow. But here I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to go for a different color entirely, because I think it looked kind of cool. So let's grab that one. It's kind of around here somewhere. And let's go and shade that in. Cool. Again, you can always tweak this later if it looks too jarring, because some of this might definitely look too jarring at first. Actually, I'm already going to take it down a bit. I'm going to take it down a notch. Maybe make it a bit darker. Just Blano. Okay, that's getting a bit hard to look at. So let's grab another layer here and put it behind him. We're going to create a little background shape on this layer to really highlight this guy and make him pop. We're going to put a circle back there. So roughly just bigger than his head, but looking at the symmetry here, just making sure that it's roughly the same distance away from each of the walls. Let's give it a color. I kind of want to give it a turquoisey, bluey color. Cool. That looks like it's about centered. We can always count down, 6 there, and 8 there, so he's not centered. Let's go up one, there we go. I also want this to have a secondary color, so I'm going to grab a different kind of blue. Go sort of turquoisey, like more turquoise this time. And every second line I'm just going to, let's get rid of the face for a second. There we go. Every second line I'm going to draw a turquoise line across. This whole thing's got kind of an 80s vibe to it, if you hadn't already guessed or noticed. And in the 80s, they seem to like lots of flashy colors and geometric shapes. Okay, he's looking a bit like a kid, like a baby face right now, so I'm going to give him some facial hair. So let's grab his face here. That's kind of nice. And now I'm just going to trace the, sorry, wrong layer. And I'm just going to trace around the outside of his face. Fill in all this stuff here. I'm also going to give him some hair above his mouth because I kind of want it to look like a beard. As you can see, it does follow the mouth around. I'm not so sold on the color of his eyes. I'm going to make the color of his eyes that blue from the background there. And also the shape of his mouth's not doing it for me. Let's bring the teeth out one more pixel and actually get rid of one more pixel of mouth there. I'm also going to warm up his skin a wee bit. He's looking a little too pasty there. There we go, that's nice. And now I'm going to get a secondary color for the beard. Selecting a darker color from what we've already got here. And I'm just going to go around the beard and sort of hit it where I think the darker bits should be. Let's not go straight. If we leave like a light area around his mouth, it kind of gives the impression that there's an indent going on. So I'm going to leave some lightness around his mouth. Might also put some in the corners here. And let's give the guy some ears as well. I think he needs some ears. Gonna take his bandana up a bit. That will cover his ear on that side. Cool. Should his ear be in front or behind? I haven't really decided yet. Let's go with in front for now. Now I'm going to fix up this hair issue, because I'm not super thrilled with how this is looking. Let's do some of this shading here. I think there's too much shading going on. Possibly also that the hair is too big. Let's just cut off a pixel there. Yeah, that's looking a bit better. Also, this bit's too big, I think. Let's bring that hair in a bit as well. This one can maybe be a bit bigger. Maybe I can get rid of this one entirely. Yeah, get rid of a bit of the shadowing here. That's looking a bit better. When you're doing these shadows, just think about the actual shape that you're following. For example, this huge spike of hair here, I'm imagining that on the underside it's going to have shadowing because it's quite a big tuft of hair sticking up. But it's not just going to stop when it gets to the rest of the hair here. It's not just going to stop there. It's going to continue down a bit. I don't think it'll go all the way, so let's get rid of that. Sometimes the best way to give an impression of depth is just to hint at depth and not be so literal about the whole thing. Yeah, that's alright. I'm going to grab the hair color here and I'm just going to go around some of the bits where I think his hair should probably be. Cool. Actually, I might bring back a bit of hair up here, so it sort of evens the weight out a bit. It's looking a bit too lopsided up here. Cool. Now for the background, there is no gradient tool in Pixel Edit as of this filming, so we're going to do our own gradient. And to do this, there's a trick I like to use, which is grab the background color, choose a darker color, make your brush huge, and turn down the opacity to probably, I don't know, it depends on how many bands you want to do, but I think for this we'll probably go around 30. And now if you start at the bottom of your design, you can just count up a couple of rows, stamp it down, count a couple of rows, stamp it down, until you get a nice looking gradient back there. And as you can see, it works pretty well. Cool. So there we go. You might have noticed I had to make my brush actually even darker as I was going through that because I ran out of, I think because of the opacity level 30, it caught up to the darkness I'd chosen pretty quickly. So there we have it. There's the rough mascot. And I think what we can do now to bring out the shape of his face even more, because if you look at this when it's small, it's looking okay. It's not looking too bad, but I think we can really highlight his face and make sure that it pops and doesn't get lost in the background here. And let's do that by, let's duplicate our circle first so we don't lose it if we want to go back. And I'm just going to use the eraser and trace around the character's head to really give it a little outline here. And there you go, that's pretty much it. From here on out, it's just tweaking. You can tweak the colors, tweak the shape a little bit. It's up to you. And tweaking is really where all the magic's at. For example, you could play around with everything here. The shape of the eyes, perhaps. Let's create a new layer here and just draw some new eyes as we think they could be. For example, he could have smiley eyes. Very anime. That also looks kind of cute. He could have eyes with big eyebrows. That also looks kind of cool. We could do something like give him eyes where the whites are huge and there's just a little eye inside. It's up to you. All these things change the character of the sprite completely. And this is part of where the fun of character design comes in. I'm sort of not sold on either way, whether people plan out their characters totally before they start designing and then get into it, or whether they just wing it and go in and start pixeling and exploring and finding their own way as they go. I tend to do the latter more often. I don't tend to plan out my sprites totally in the beginning and have a solid idea of what I want. I just kind of go in and play around, and I have a rough idea of what I want, and I get there, and then I improve on it and tweak it until I get something that I'm happy with. And that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It's always fun for me to make. I hope it's fun for you guys to watch. If you did like it, pop a comment down beneath, and I hope you're subscribed because I will be putting up more videos pretty often. Thanks very much. Bye.
Pixorama. Pixorama.